Hello guys, my name is Laika, and as usual, I like to update you on information on visas, immigration and job opportunities beyond borders. So wherever you would like to go and work, just write down the country and I'm going to do my research. So today let me speak to you about France and how you can immigrate to France. You don't need to be French speaking for you to be able to get work in France. And specifically, let me speak about tech. If you are in tech, then you've got a very good opportunity and you can immigrate to France and go and work there. The French government is actually encouraging immigrants to apply for jobs and to move to France, and they are really helping startups so much that they have made a specific visa for startups to be able to hire foreign talent. So if you're in tech, if you've got the talent, then I've got you, because I'm going to let you know how you can be able to immigrate to France. So yeah, come with me. Before we go very far, let me just tell you about something that the French government introduced, and it's called the talent passport. Now with the talent passport, the talent passport is meant to attract foreign talent with their families and to be able to show them that they can go to France and they can work there and live there and just have their life. What are the characteristics of the talent passport? The talent passport can be issued for 4 years. You do not require a residence permit if you have this talent passport. It means you can live in France and work there without a residence permit. It allows your family to accompany you and go with you to France. You can actually renew it as long as you don't change the current conditions that you're in France in. And if by any chance your situation changes and you're thinking, you know what, I don't want to work in tech anymore, you can change and go and work in something else, but then you can get a residence permit. But when you are within France, you don't need to leave France to go and apply for a residence permit. So that's what a talent passport is. For you to be eligible for a talent passport, you need to be in a contract with an employer who's based in France. So you need to have the contract, and then from there you can be eligible for the talent passport. It's up to the French government to decide if you're eligible or not. So I cannot tell you that you are. It's up to them to decide. But as long as you have a contract with an employer who's based in France, then you stand a chance of being eligible. Now let's move on to La French Tech Visa. It's called La French Tech Visa. This visa can be issued in 3 ways. It can be for founders, for employees, and for investors. If you're a founder or an investor, then I'm afraid I'm not going to do the research here. I just want to do it for employees who want to immigrate and go and work for a startup company that's in tech, and they're thinking, I want to go and work in France. Now, the steps include the company that wants to hire foreign talent, being a startup and being in tech, needs to apply for a certificate from their government, and then the government is going to be able to allow them to bring in the talent that they've recognized. So it's up to you as the job seeker to apply for work, and then once you get it, your employer is going to be the one responsible for making sure that you get the visa that you require. So it's up to them to have the certificate, and then once you have the contract, you can be eligible for the talent passport, or you can apply for La French Tech Visa. Now remember, the talent passport is equivalent to a work permit. I'm going to walk with you step by step on the procedure that's needed. I know someone told me that I like to touch on things here and there. It's because sometimes I do that so that you can go and do the research. But today, let me tell you step by step. Stay with me to the end of the video and you're going to understand this better. So step 1, the employer applies for the certificate from the government. Step 2, you get that certificate, you attach it to your documents, and you apply for a long-term residence permit. If you're already in France, the procedure is going to be different. I'm speaking about the people who are outside France. Oh, the sun is shining in my eyes. For those people who are outside France, what you're going to do is you're going to apply for a long stay visa, and it can bear the name talent passport. Talent passport. and the place where you'll apply is of course at the consular in your country. Please do not apply for a Schengen visa. You need to apply specifically to go to France. Now, once you've received your decision from the French embassy, you can then travel to France. And then when you get there, the procedure is going to be finished when you're already in France. And this means that you are going to go to the passport office, and they will then give you the decision in a few weeks or in a few days about your residence permit. But from starters, just the main thing that you need to do is secure yourself the employment from a French employer. Once you have that, they send you the certificate, you attach it with your documents, you take it to your consular, and then they're going to be able to issue you a visa that enables you to travel to France. Once you're in France, you then go and finish the procedure. Usually what they give you is a certificate that shows that you're authorized to live and work in France, and then they're going to also give you the residence permit, and that's a favorable decision for you. You need to start the procedure 3 months before travel. That means once you get your decision from the employer saying you've been hired, you can start applying. So the earliest you can start your employment is 3 months after you've been issued your offer to go and work in France. But then remember, once the employer agrees to work with you, you can even look for ways to fast track your application. Now, what documents do you require when you're going to work in France, or when you're applying for your La French Tech visa or for the talent passport? Like, you get that once you're in France, yeah? You're just applying for the residence permit. So what documents do you need? You need a valid passport, first of all. It needs to be valid for 10 years. If you know very well, passports, like our passports in Kenya, are valid for 10 years. So it needs to be within that. You also need to have the forms that you've downloaded from their website to show that you're applying for the passport, to show that you're applying for the visa. The process is going to cost you about 200 euros, and you need to show proof that you've paid for the application that you're making. You also need to have some passport photos, like 3 of them. You also need to have your proof of marital status or nationality. That means if you're traveling with your wife, you need to show that you're married, so you have your documents, the marriage certificate. And then for your nationality, you might need to have your ID. Just make sure that you make your application appealing to the person who's going to make the decision. There are of course other things that might help you with your application, including like an address of the place where you're going to work, but those are things that you encounter along the way. And if you need further help, if you've been offered employment and you feel like, I really can't do this, I'd be very willing to help. Just reach me on my social media platforms. Whenever I have time, I'm going to be able to reply. Remember some things that are going to be a must. For example, a certificate showing that the employer is actually registered in France. So don't just make it vague, just make sure you explain yourself very well, and you have as many documents and proof of who you are and the place where you're going to work, as many as possible. If you do stay in France for a period of 5 years uninterrupted, then you can apply for a residence card that's going to be available to you, and then you can stay on for 10 years. Are you traveling with your family? If you are, then your spouse can apply as talent passport family, and they can be able to come with you. The only thing you need to do is pay 225 euros and then 99 euros for every other accompanying member. So if you have kids, you're going to be able to add them onto the application. But the most important thing for you to do is secure that employment, and then once you do that, you can be able to add on the people that you would like to take with you. And if you come in as a spouse, this is when you get on to work on jobs that do not have high requirement levels. So that's another thing we can touch on another video. But for now, I really wanted to touch on how you can get La French Tech visa, I hope I'm saying it correctly, and how you can also get the talent passport. This all depends on the government and what they see suits you best. These are the websites that you can use if you're going to apply for work. I'm sure you've been wondering, how am I going to apply for this? So, for example, you can start with the websites that I'm going to mention for you. Great Sci Tech Jobs, GR8, and then Sci Tech Jobs. Go into that website and have a look at what you will find. You can also go to welcometothejungle.com. It's got a few very nice options because I've been looking at it. innovice.tech/jobs. Go to that and see what you will find. You can also try jobs.backmarket.com. So that's job.backmarket.com. See what you find on that one as well. I'm going to give you 5. The rest I'm sure you're going to be backlinking and see what's happening in the other one, and then you're directed to this and directed to that. But if you're really interested in tech, try these websites. There's also jobs.workable.com. It's got a few very good options. And another one that I spoke about when I spoke about Netherlands is called Angel List. ANGELLIST. Go try that one and see what you will find. You can also try uktech.news and then /jobs, and you're going to find a few very good options. So just go scroll through, see what's available. Remember, tech doesn't just mean going and doing software engineering and all. There's a lot of careers that you can actually do in a tech company. You know, as long as you see the vacancy is in a company that deals with tech, please go and try to apply for that, because the French government is encouraging people to come, especially green tech. Everyone wants to do renewable energy. They need new talent, and you could actually be the one to benefit. If you ever meet another African out here and you ask them how they got out, you wouldn't believe. It's because they just saw an opportunity, applied for it, and they got to travel and work and earn a good salary. So best of luck, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I don't have much time now because I'm working full time, but whenever I get a minute in my lunch break, once I've finished settling, because it's a lot to do, settling a baby into nursery, my other daughter's going to school as well, my husband's the one driving. So yeah, when I get time, I'm going to reply even to the messages that were sent to me 4 months ago. Please don't give up. Yeah, just keep on applying and see what comes back. And as usual, when you have good news, share them with us. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.